Hello and welcome to this audio presentation of Navigating the Paleo Diet, a beginner's guide to navigating the paleo diet in a modern world. Copyright and disclaimer information is available in the ebook version for your review. This content is laid out as follows. We'll start with an introduction, followed by 5 chapters, and then a conclusion. So with that, let's jump right into the introduction of Navigating the Paleo Diet. Introduction. Whether we like it or not, the health of our society is bad and getting worse. As technology continues to develop, convenience does as well, and ordering food is literally as simple as the clicking of a button. Long gone are the days of having to find your own food, let alone having to drive to a restaurant to get dinner. Cooking dinner looks less and less appealing when compared to the food conveniences and choices amongst diners, catering services, fast food, and takeout. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, diabetes is now the 7th leading cause of death just in the United States alone. Type 2 diabetes has been on the rise due to poor lifestyle choices, such as too much unhealthy food and not enough exercise. Globesity, a term coined by the World Health Organization to describe the worldwide obesity epidemic, is another problem as well. These numbers continue to rise, as do the associated health problems and diseases. As governments and local communities start to feel the impact of obesity, diabetes, hypertension, etc., due to poor lifestyle choices, awareness is increasing. Cheap processed foods are so readily available and overwhelm the shelves in supermarkets. Toss desk jobs, long drives or commutes, and electronics into the mix, and we do a lot of sitting around and very little to burn off that processed food. Americans spent about 25% of their net income on food 90 years ago, according to a study done by RAND on why Americans are so fat. In present day, we spend less than 10% of that income on food, but we're certainly not eating less, we're eating more, unhealthier, cheaper foods. But perhaps we're finally seeing a turning point. The last 3 quarters, McDonald's has seen a global decline of about 3.3% in sales, perhaps indicative of less consumption of fast food. With the media covering the obesity epidemic and health and quality of life plummeting, some people are starting to see the light. Documentaries such as Fed Up are exposing food manufacturers' concerns that lie only with profits and not health, and how added sugar is in over 80% of supermarket foods. We may be a long way off from getting back to the good old days where dinner was made from whatever was in the garden and processed foods were nearly unheard of, but the best we can do is inform ourselves of why healthy choices are the best for long-term health and quality of life. As technology develops, our choices will only continue to grow. By making wise ones, we can help battle and slow this rising epidemic. So today, I want to give you a quick beginner's overview of one of the best choices you can make in regards to overall health and a natural way of eating, the paleo diet. Don't worry if you don't know what it is. Within the next few moments, you will discover why it has been one of the most talked about diets of recent time. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. What exactly is the paleo diet? If you don't know what the paleo diet is, or you've never heard of it before, no worries. Within this first chapter, we're going to explore exactly what this way of eating is all about. At its core, paleo is a lot more lifestyle than it is a diet. A paleo lifestyle is about eating real, whole natural foods and avoiding all processed foods. You see, the modern diet is exactly that. It's modern. Humans ate in a paleo style for hundreds of thousands of years, some estimates say 2 million, before starting to eat grain and sugar-based foods, as well as processed foods, as recently as 10,000 years ago. The idea behind paleo is to eliminate those processed foods, chemicals, vegetable oils, and other new additions to the modern diet that can be detrimental to our lifestyle, from how we move to our energy levels to how we feel on a daily basis. For all those years that we ate paleo, humans were hunters and gatherers. They ate meat and they ate fruits such as berries when they were in season, which also meant they moved a lot and were very active. They needed to be strong and fit in order to survive. Their bodies were conditioned to efficiently use fat as fuel and energy, not carbohydrates. Eventually, agriculture came into being and the human diet changed dramatically. The agricultural revolution occurred about 10,000 years ago and introduced grains such as wheat and breads into our diet. Today's modern diet contains things like significant quantities of gluten. Gluten was non-existent in Paleolithic times. Things like wheat, rye, many cereals, and barley contain gluten. Gluten has been recognized to cause inflammation in the gut and has been given widespread attention through celebrities like Kelly Ripa, who have famously gone gluten-free. It's also been theorized, not proven, that gluten could play a role in an increased risk of some cancers as well as heart disease. Another ingredient in the modern-day diet is linked to possible health problems is that of lectins. Lectins are present in grains. They cause wear and tear in our gastrointestinal tract, making it very difficult to heal. Let's not forget sugar. Sugar is everywhere and in everything nowadays. Sugar needs to be burned, but another aspect of modern times is how sedentary people have become. Everyone sits. They sit at work, they sit on the couch watching television, they sit at their computers, they sit checking out social media and texts on their smartphones. People do not move the way they used to, and so they don't burn calories the way they used to. This becomes a big problem when talking about sugar consumption. In the Paleolithic period, humans were lean, strong, and fit. They moved pretty much all day, every day. They didn't farm or grow crops. As I mentioned above, they hunted and gathered. They followed the food. They didn't sit around playing on their Apple iStone tablet. If they did, they'd starve. So all that sugar being consumed in the modern diet, which is bad enough, isn't even burned off because of sedentary lifestyles, which means energy spikes and crashes and related health problems such as diabetes and blood pressure issues. One of the big myths that the paleo diet has helped to dispel is the outdated notion of eating fat makes you fat. This was a big deal when the high carbohydrate craze started in the 80s, and you had everyone obsessed with the amount of fat calories they were eating. Almost every food in existence ended up with a low-fat or no-fat version, but most of that fat got replaced with sugar. Fat is a crucial nutrient when it comes to our health. Dietary fat is needed for an optimal, well-functioning, and healthy body. It's all the chemicals, preservatives, and added sugar in our diet that lead to the weight gain, health issues, energy problems, and more. The paleo diet has been referred to as the caveman diet because that is basically how you are asked to eat. The paleo diet mainly consists of meat, fish, turkey, chicken, fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Eating paleo eliminates the negative aspects of the modern diet, such as sugar, trans fats, and preservatives, while nourishing your body with much-needed vitamins, minerals, proteins, and healthy fats, such as essential fatty acids. Essential, as in your body needs them. Get it? It needs these fats, such as omega-3s, which are almost non-existent in the modern diet, especially amongst people who are mistakenly but severely limiting the consumption of fats in their diet. With the paleo diet, you are basically going back to, well, basics. Well, that's a basic overview of what the paleo diet is. In the next part, we will look at going organic, and following that, we will look at paleo-approved foods. Chapter 2. Is organic the way to go in this modern world? Part of being an informed and conscious consumer is being aware of the foods you buy and their health benefits and drawbacks, especially if you're looking at adopting the paleo way of eating. Buzzwords float around the world of healthy eating so frequently that it's hard to keep track of what's what and why, and organic is certainly no exception. Walk into your typical everyday grocery store and chances are you'll stumble upon a few aisles labeled health food aisle or organic aisle. Sounds pretty good, right? The shelves are stocked with items labeled natural, raw, sprouted, and organic. The prices are a bit high, but hey, that's the price you pay for health, right? It's important to understand what these labels mean, and if they really even mean much at all. The term organic refers to the way in which agricultural products are grown, raised, handled, and processed. Using natural fertilizers over chemical ones and natural insecticides over synthetic ones are both ways in which food can be grown and processed to be considered organic. Meat that is considered organic comes from animals that were given organic feed and no antibiotics, growth hormones, or medications. The USDA regulates the organic industry and requires food manufacturers to meet strict government guidelines. You can learn more about organic agriculture on the USDA website. There are a variety of organic labels that you may have come across. Some foods say made with organic ingredients, but who really knows what that means exactly? Variations of organic labeling. 100% organic, completely organic and made of all organic ingredients. Organic is at least 95% organic ingredients. and made with organic ingredients is 70% or higher organic ingredients. It's important to consider the value of buying a particular item in an organic variety. Just because organic costs more doesn't necessarily mean it's worth it. Organic.org has a list of foods they call the Dirty Dozen, which contain those that have the highest level of pesticides and therefore are best bought organic. There is also a list of a dozen foods that you can buy non-organic, the least contaminated. This guide is a great reference for your trips to the grocery store. Adding organic foods into a paleo diet. Now that you understand what the term organic means, what are some reasons you should start adding organic foods into your grocery purchases if following a paleo diet? They're more nutritious. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and flavonoids. They're safer. There's no pesticides and usually no GMOs. Pure. There's no flavor enhancers, preservatives, or contaminants. While many argue that the price of organic food makes it impossible to afford, there are ways you can make it fit your budget. Shop at local farmers markets. Join an organic co-op. Buy directly from farmers. Buy in bulk. Grow your own or shop online. Those who are fans of organic foods believe it's healthier and safer to consume than non-organic foods when following the paleo diet. On the other hand, some argue that there is no way to ensure that what you're buying is truly organic, the major factor being the consumption of these foods over-processed.